Hey there and welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing another fun haul, another weekly haul. All of these fragrances are from FragranceBuy. They are all blind buys and we will just get started. So I have the links to the main places I buy fragrances. They're always in the description box below, along with coupon codes that you guys can use. And even though I've had fragrances from all three of these houses, I've never tried these specific ones. And I was excited to pick them up for many reasons, obviously, but the extra special reason were that they were all tester bottles. So they did come boxless and they were a lot more affordable. So the first one is another OUD by Juliet Has a Gun. It just has a sticker here that says that it's a tester bottle. So I'm just gonna take that off after the video. But this has raspberry, bergamot, oud, ambroxan, and musk. And I am anxious about this one because while I adore oud, my last experience with Juliet Has a Gun was kind of a fail because it was not a perfume and I could not smell it, and I think it had ambroxan in it. Anyways, it had something in it that I couldn't smell it, and so I'd just been a bit more turned off towards the house because my first two fragrances were amazing. But I thought I would try this one on. I can definitely smell it. It is very tart. Yeah, the raspberry is interesting. I feel like the raspberry in this is a bit reminiscent of the raspberry in the By Kilian fragrance. Which one am I thinking about? The one like Madly in Love. Yes, I was madly in love, but that was yesterday. The raspberry in that is very, very, very tart. And I don't really like it. And it's kind of like the same raspberry in this. It's not very often that you get like a citrusy oud. And so that's interesting because I feel like the bergamot's obviously adding to its tartness. But you do get some oud, I'd find, but yeah, it's like hidden, or at least I think it'll show up a little bit more as it wears on the skin. The opening is very tart, and that raspberry is already becoming a little bit more muted than its first spray, which I don't really enjoy. I don't enjoy that note, but I'm happy that it seems like it's gonna fade out. Yeah, so anyways, that is another oud. I will obviously put them in order at the end of the video, but I was curious about this one, and like I said, because it was a tester bottle, this was actually a really, really inexpensive find, even more than the usual good prices that you can find for Juliet Has a Gun on FragranceBuy. This was like even better of a find price-wise, so I didn't really mind jumping the gun on that one. Yeah, I think it was like 30 something or 40, I'm not sure, but it was a pretty good deal. And yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of wearing it a little bit more and just even smelling how this smells throughout the day, because if it's just in that opening where that raspberry is showing up, then I don't think I'll mind. Then we get to a Jil Sander fragrance, and you guys know if you've been watching for a while. If you haven't, don't forget to subscribe. I have fallen head over heels in love with Jil Sander, and if there's an opportunity for me to grab one of her fragrances, I always get it. And so this one is Jil Sander Eve. This is the first of her fragrances that I've purchased, I think, that isn't like, that's in this kind of bottle. The other ones have all been either, I don't know, just like more square bottles or the circular, like round cylindrical ones. So that's interesting. And this has red currant, grapefruit, blossom, wild rose, violet, jasmine, patchouli, and cashmere wood. This one also seemed more perfumey than the others. I feel like a lot of the other Jil Sander fragrances I've tried are more clean or aquatic, and this one seemed a lot more, obviously, like fruity floral with some woods. The patchouli is slightly worrisome, but there's a lot of other great notes in there. And so let's see. Ooh, okay. This is very reminiscent, not of another perfume, but of something of my childhood. This is already evoking some sort of nostalgia for me, and I can't put my nose to what. Hopefully by the time I get to a second impressions, I think maybe a shampoo. it's not shampoo-y, but there's definitely, it's a hair care product for sure. It's something about this is reminding me of a shampoo or conditioner I used to use when I was really young. Ooh, I really do like it. It's got a very sweet, like red currant floral type opening. I really do like it. I don't really get a lot of patchouli, if any. At least right now. It's definitely not like a sheep kind of patchouli, which thank goodness. And it does have a slight muskiness to it as well. I don't know if it's the violet cashmere wood or whatever it is, or maybe even the wild rose. Like it's got a slight musk to it, which I really do like. That's interesting. Okay, I'm really, really happy I picked that up. This as well, again, great prices for Jil Sander fragrances in general aren't that expensive, but if you can snag tester bottles, which I have both in Canadian websites and American websites, then you can get it at a better deal, especially if you don't really keep boxes like I don't either. So that is Eve by Jil Sander. All right, so now we get to the third and last one, and this one I've saved for last because it's the one I've been most excited about. So this is actually a quite a small bottle, and I don't know how many mils exactly. Oh, 15 mils. So it's a smaller bottle of Eastwald de Parfum, and this is 1876, and I have heard a million and one amazing things about this fragrance. I feel like anything I have read or watched about this fragrance have always been really, really great things. And I've been curious, but I didn't want to get another large bottle because I own Blanc Violette from Histoires de Parfum, and I got the largest bottle. And even though it wasn't expensive at all in comparison to other scents, I don't wear it that much. And it was a blind buy, and I thought it was going to be the be all and end all of a violet fragrance for me. And there's something about it that doesn't quite hit the mark for me. So I was more apprehensive this time, and I was better, and I got a smaller bottle. So this has lychee, orange, bergamot, caraway, rose, iris, carnation, cinnamon, violet, vetiver, gaiac wood, sandalwood, vanilla, and musk. And I actually like the smaller bottle. I think it's really nice. It has a spray, which for me, even for smaller bottles, makes the world of a difference. I am curious to see if I get a lot of cinnamon on my skin, personally, because cinnamon just really is a note that gets pulled out a lot of my skin if it's in a fragrance, but we will see. Ooh, okay. It's very woody. It's like I'd heard that this was powdery, but like an interesting take on a powdery fragrance, so I was intrigued. But a lot of the notes also were quite woody and spiced, so I was curious. Okay. It's definitely spiced. Like I feel like I get a whole lot of caraway, which isn't a note for everyone. And it smells very dated, which I don't know what the 1876 is referring to in this case. Like, I don't know if they were trying to model it to that time period, but it does smell like a very dated fragrance. It smells very mature. The powderiness to this is in its base. I feel like it's like I get it somewhere in there when I'm smelling it right now, but it isn't powdery in the way that I gravitate to. This is quite, yeah, mature, I guess is the best way to put it. And it's very woody and spiced. Like I feel like the main things I'm getting are like dark woods, caraway, slight bergamot, I guess, maybe a slight crispness in the opening, but yeah, and some vetiver. Like I don't really get rose and violet in the typical ways that those show up in your fragrance. I just get a whole lot of spicy, spiced wood, and it does smell powdery in the way that dated fragrances can, but it does smell very, very strong. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, how strong it actually is, how long it lasts. I'm very glad I got a smaller bottle because this is not a scent already off the top of my head. I can pretty much guess this is not a scent I'm going to be wearing day to day. I really have to be in the mood for it. So yeah, I'm really glad I don't have another 100 ml on my hands, but I'm happy I tried it out. And as always, I like to put these hauls in order of what I'm most excited to wear or what I'm really loving. I'm gonna re-smell the Another Oud. It's made a world of a difference, I have to say, to kind of let it rest. That opening has very, very much mellowed down. So I would say in first place, I would have to go with Eve. I'm really liking it. It is girly and slightly musky powdery and kind of like that reminiscent of that shampoo-y, fruity floral, but not so generic, because I feel like Jil Sander, even in her most generic sense, like has a quality about her fragrances that I really like. They're very European, if that makes sense. Like even if she's gonna do a fruity floral, this doesn't smell like an American fruity floral or a French. Like yeah, I mean, I know French is European, but it smells like a very German Austrian take on it. And I think Jil Sander is actually a German fragrance house, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know, I really do like it. So this would be first place. In second place, I would actually have to put Another Oud. I think it's gonna be a lot easier to wear this once it gets colder again, which I'm not looking forward to. I'm all about keeping this warm weather as long as possible, but yeah, I think I'm gonna be more so into this in the colder weather, maybe even in like early fall. And I'm really happy that the opening kind of dies down. Otherwise, I would have really struggled with that, because raspberry is a hard note for me in fragrance, you guys. I have yet to meet a raspberry I super love, and yeah, I'm glad that it dies down in that. And then in last place, and I'm smelling it now, I like the powderiness in 1876. As it's resting on my skin, it is getting a little bit more like rice powder, face powdery, and I like that part of it. It's really, I guess, maybe the caraway and even carnation can get quite spicy as a floral. It might be just those that are taking it a step too far and being dated and too traditional to the point where I'm not really going to wear it as often. But I do like that I got a smaller bottle, and as always, I will let you guys know a little bit more when I come back for second impressions. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave me in the comments below which one of these fragrances you would like to try if you haven't tried any. And if you have tried them, then let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye.